Yo, what is up, guys? It's Cohen back here again tonight with another episode of After the Buzzer, the show where I tell you about everything that happened in the NBA today. I do want to preface this video with apologizing if my voice sounds weird or if I sound sniffly at all. I'm still getting over a cold, but I really want to make this video on it. It's on a topic I'm really excited about, as you can probably tell from the thumbnail, and if you've watched my channel ever. So I'm really excited about it. Want to make a video on it, so I'm going to fight through the sickness. I just apologize if I sound weird at all. I also want to say, before I get into the games themselves, prayers out to Jaylen Brown, out for the season with a torn, I believe it's a ligament in his hand. Either way, he will be out for the rest of the season, including the playoffs. Prayers out to him. Hopefully he's able to come back healthy for next season. I was really hoping the Celtics could give a team a run for their money in that first round. The Celtics are a team that hasn't been able to stay healthy all season, and this is just another blow to them. Hopefully they're able to get healthy going into next year and kind of make a return to form like they had last season. That being said, I'll now get into the games, and of course, as you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, the fact that I'm wearing the Russell Westbrook shirt for today's video as well. Tonight was all about Russell Westbrook. Specifically, Westbrook broke the all-time career leader in triple-double record. He passed Oscar Robertson, who had 181, and Westbrook is now the all-time leader in triple-doubles over the course of a career with 182. He did about 100 less games than Oscar Robertson too, which is incredible. It's a record that a lot of people thought was impossible to be broken. If you look back, there's this video from like the mid 2000s, I believe is when it came out. It has LeBron James, Jason Kidd, and a couple other guys, and they're talking about Oscar Robertson. They're asking him, or asking those players, do you think Oscar Robertson's triple-double records are ever breakable? And they're talking about, no, I don't think so. I don't see any player doing that. Jason Kidd specifically says, there is no person on this planet that can do that. And Russell Westbrook was born at that point, so Jason Kidd was very wrong. This was an incredible night for him. He ended up with 28, 13, 21 assists, and it felt like the most casual 21 assists I've ever seen. He's been an absolute tear, and this historic milestone was just a cherry on top. I know there's a big meme around Russell Westbrook and triple doubles or whatever, but if you watch this game, like the triple doubles help his team win. They didn't end up winning tonight. They really missed Bradley Beal tonight. But Russell Westbrook wins over 70% of his games that he gets a triple-double in, and I know there are going to be people under the comments in this video. There are going to be some talking heads. There already were a bunch of people on Twitter trying to use this as an opportunity to discredit Westbrook, saying, oh, he only pursues triple-doubles. He doesn't care about winning. Oh, he only cares about stats or wear his rings. Who cares about his triple-doubles? And I'm not here to talk about any of that negativity because there's a lot in the NBA besides getting rings. Ultimately, when Russ gets a triple-double, his team wins way more than when he doesn't. And so that's just a direct correlation. I'm not going to focus on negativity for the rest of this video. This is all going to be about praising his accomplishment and talking about what he's been kind of for me as a basketball fan. If you don't know, Russell Westbrook is my favorite player of all time. He is a guy that really made me fall in love with basketball. When I first started watching basketball, Westbrook was a player that I was immediately drawn to, and he is the reason why I'm not only a Thunder fan, but he's the reason why I'm a basketball fan. When I saw him play, I saw someone who played as hard as he could every single night, and that was something that I loved. I loved to see a guy, despite his flaws, went out there and just battled every single night, put all he had out there on the court, win or lose. And ultimately, that's what made me a Thunder fan, that's what made me a basketball fan, and that's why he's my favorite player of all time. There is no player who's going to give you 130% the way that Russell Westbrook does every single night in the basketball court. He gets slandered left and right for absolutely no reason, despite his incredible accomplishments. Like I said previously, before Russell Westbrook, Oscar Robertson held all these triple-double records. Triple-doubles were something that were kind of like mysterious and like mystified, held in very high regard prior to Russell Westbrook. I have a stat over here pulled up on the side of my screen. So before Russell Westbrook started leading the league in triple-doubles in 2014-15. He's done it every single season since then, other than 2019-20, where Luka Doncic led it. The year before that, the leader in triple-doubles was Lance Stevenson with 5 in 2013-14. Since then, it's been Westbrook with 11, Westbrook with 18, Westbrook with 42, Westbrook with 25, Westbrook with 34, Luka, and then Russell Westbrook now with 35. I believe tonight might have even been 36. That's a lot. And Russell Westbrook might have even had a shot to break his own record of triple-doubles in a season if this was a normal season. Because he's got 35, potentially 36 right now. And the fact that there's only like 4 or 5 games left, if he had 10 more games, it's very possible he might have gotten 43. That's how good he's been this season. That's how good he's been over the course of his career, that he has the potential to not only break, or he already did, break what a lot of people pictured as an unbreakable record, 41 triple-doubles in a season, and then break it again after people called him washed to start the season. It's incredible. The way that he continues to prove people wrong, the way that Russell Westbrook always finds a way to discredit people, no matter how many times people say he's washed up, he does it every single time. He proves people wrong. And I love to see that. I love, if you've watched my channel at all, I love when players prove people wrong, and especially when it comes to Russell Westbrook. He has really normalized the triple-double. It feels super easy now. When I see people get triple-doubles, I'm like, oh, that's a cool stat. It's not something that seems that mysterious anymore, and I think that's part of why people have started to discredit him. He himself has normalized it. It's like with Steph Curry in the three-pointer. Steph Curry has made three-pointers, like super deep three-pointers, while they're still impressive, he's normalized them to a great degree. Before Steph Curry came into the league and started lighting it up, if someone hit a three from like the hash mark, it was like a once-in-a-game occurrence. You're like, what the heck? How did he do that? Then Steph comes into the league and starts shooting them with regularity, and then you've got guys like Dame, Luka, just to name a couple of names, like a James Harden, some of those catch-and-shoot guys like Klay Thompson, Davis Bertans are shooting from way out there in the hash mark like every single game, multiple times a game, and no one bats an eye when they hit them. They're like, wow, that was an incredible shot, but people don't freak out like they used to because of Steph Curry. It's the same case with Russell Westbrook. When the player gets a triple-double, it's like, oh, awesome, cool, whatever. But previously, people don't really remember, before Russ, triple-doubles were something that were held in such high regard because it's insanely difficult to do on an NBA court. If he stat padded like a lot of people said he does, then why don't more players do it? Why don't players other than Russell Westbrook get those triple-doubles? Because it's not that easy. It's not easy to go out and put up 28, 13, and 21. That's an insane stat line. And it continues a really hot run that Russ has been on heading into the playoffs. If him and Bradley Beal get hot at the same time, this is a really tough Wizards team. And they're beat up too. They're missing Thomas Bryant, a guy that I really thought was going to have a big season for them. Davis Bertans has not quite been the player that they've needed him to be this season. They've had issues. Alex Len and Robin Lopez have been their starting centers for most of the year when they were both anticipated to kind of just be like backup type guys throughout most of the season. It's been a lot of turmoil on this team. Denny Avdija has missed a lot of time, and I don't even know if he's going to play again this season. I believe he's not supposed to. I think he's out for the year. It's been a tough year for the Washington Wizards, and to see Russ go out there and do something incredible like this is awesome to see. I love to see him doing stuff like this in his career. I really hope he comes back to OKC at some point, and whenever Russ gets his jersey retired in Oklahoma City, I'm already going to be there. I will put out my life savings to go there and be at that jersey retirement for him in OKC. I can't wait to see it. Yeah. I just wanted to kind of talk about Westbrook for a little bit because I know I've done a lot of videos on him recently because he's having a good season. And like I said, I love when players prove people wrong, especially when it's my favorite player of all time. And so I had to talk about him. Moving to the other side of the game, while the Wizards did have that historic accomplishment from Westbrook, they did not end up winning the game. The Hawks came out with a 1-point win. John Collins, 28, 8-1. Clint Capella with a 10-22 game. Capella's been so good this season, but this was really Trae Young's game, 36, 6-9. You can even throw in Bogdanovich with 25, 5-4. A lot of Hawks players kind of scored in this game. Everyone kind of contributed, and that's been kind of the theme with the Hawks a lot this season. While Trae Young is their best player, there are nights where their best players, different guys like John Collins and Clint Capella, have their own nights. Bogdanovich has his own nights. Even a guy like DeAndre Hunter coming back into the fold continues to make this Hawks team more dangerous. DeAndre Hunter has been injured most of the season. Now that he's coming back, he's a guy that before his injury, a lot of people don't remember, was giving the Hawks 16 points, about like 5 rebounds on 50, 40, 90 shooting before going into his long injury rehab. So him coming back as a two-way guy for this Hawks team is huge for them. If they're able to keep getting healthier, if like they could get a Cam Reddish back at some point consistently, they're going to be a tough out. And I'm really excited for their series potentially with the New York Knicks or whoever they face in the playoffs because this Hawks team has a fighting chance against whoever they go against. So that's that Hawks-Wizards game. Let me know what you thought about Russell Westbrook's accomplishment in the comment section below. But outside of that game, like I said, this is kind of a slow point in the season. There's not a lot of games today that really affected too much. The Indiana Pacers beating the Cleveland Cavaliers, which knocks out the Toronto Raptors from playoff contention and keeps the Pacers in that 10 spot for the play-in game. The Cavaliers, I really needed them to win today. I thought they were going to. I thought they had a fighting chance. They were up at halftime. Need them to win for the Thunder tank purposes because that would have given us a cushion. I'm really afraid that the Thunder are going to tie with several teams for that third spot in the lottery, and I'm not ready to see us fall down to the 7th spot. That would kill me. So I need other teams to win, please, and I need the Thunder to not beat the Kings tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. With the Pelicans and Grizzlies game, 5-point win by the Grizzlies. This kind of really knocks out the Pelicans from really a chance of making that play-in spot, especially also with the Spurs winning today against the Milwaukee Bucks in kind of surprising blowout fashion. But going back to this Grizzlies-Pelicans game, I really want to give a shout to Jonas Valanciunas. 20 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. He's been so good for them this season, and I feel like people really don't talk about him that much. I feel like it's just Ja Morant. Jonas has been, for most of this season, their best player. I would say for the first half or so of the season, Jonas was their best player. He's been really good. He stretches the floor. He really does all the little things you need him to do. He helps Ja Morant out a lot. Underrated playmaker. He doesn't get a ton of assists or anything like that, but he has some passes every single game where you kind of look at that and you're like, oh, well, that's pretty good for a guy of his size. Dillon Brooks, 23 points. If he's able to not shoot super inefficiently, that's a huge plus for this Grizzlies team because he plays solid defense, but it's up to him to kind of stay like holstered a little bit on the offensive end of the ball. You don't want him taking a million shots a game. He does have the capability to be kind of a microwave type scorer, but if he's not making his shots, it can really be a hindrance and he can sometimes shoot them out of games. So if he's able to be consistent like that, it's going to go a long way for the Grizzlies in trying to make it out of the play-in tournament and into the playoffs. As for the Pelicans, this was a good fight from them, only losing by 5 without Ingram or Zion or Steven Adams. 18 points for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. You had 12. Hold on, I'm going to go through this real quick because they had, is it 8, I believe, double-digit scores, 8 or 7. It's Najee Marshall, James Johnson, Billy Hernan-Gomez, Lonzo Ball, Eric Bledsoe, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Jackson Hayes. All scoring double digits. This was a great team effort from them, and next season they need more efforts like this. Zion and Ingram are always going to get their points, but what's really been letting down this team is the role players behind them a lot of the season. Lonzo Ball having a great year, credit to him. But a lot of times the other guys are really just not stepping up, and that was the big problem for the Pelicans this season. They've got those 2 top all-star level talents. They've just got to add more around them. Outside of those games, there are only 3 other games tonight. Bucks Spurs was a blowout for the team you probably wouldn't expect. The Spurs blowing out the Bucks by 21 points tonight. Kind of a well-rounded effort from them. The Bucks really just didn't have it in them tonight. It seemed like Giannis dunked on 3 Spurs, which was cool, but I don't think this is a huge indicator of problems for the Bucks or that the Spurs are some incredible team. I do think the Spurs are a competitive team that a lot of people are forgetting about in terms of the play-in tournament. This Spurs team could go out and make the playoffs. It's not out of the realm of possibility for them, and I do think they have the potential to knock off one of these other teams that people are kind of rooting for in the play-in game. They do have the potential to be spoiler, and I would not be surprised if they are. Rockets Trailblazers. The Trailblazers won by 11 points here. It was kind of a blowout, but the Rockets really kept this one close, scoring 129 points. That's a lot for a Rockets team that's been really decimated. This Rockets team has had a lot of fun young guys who have kind of proved themselves a little bit. Kelly Olynyk with 21 points. He's not really a young guy, but he's just been God himself since coming to the Rockets. 15, 9, and 4 for Kenyon Martin. 12, 7, and 8 for Jayshawn Tate. 18 for Kyrie Thomas. 18 for Armani Brooks, who is an absolute sniper from 3. Shout out to Armani Brooks. The Rockets have some fun young guys. I'm not sure how many of those guys are going to stick into next season, but they do have some building blocks for the future. And then finally, we have the Jazz Warriors, which was a game that looked like it was going to be a blowout and it ended up being a pretty close and fun affair. At the end of the game, Jordan Clarkson really went crazy. He started pretty inefficiently in that first half, but he ended up scoring 41 points, 7 rebounds with not a single assist because that's the Jordan Clarkson way. 27 points for Bojan Bogdanovic, who just won Player of the Week. 10 and 16 from Rudy Gobert. Joe Ingles 5, 3, and 5. I'm not sure who's going to win 6th Man of the Year when we talk about Jordan Clarkson because his efficiency has really dropped off, but I think he has the name recognition to win that award, and also he had such a big lead at kind of the halfway point in the season that I feel like all discourse about who the 6th Man of the Year was going to be kind of ceased or stopped existing at that point at half point of the season. I don't know, because Joe Ingles on this team, he didn't have a great game tonight, 5, 3, and 5, like I said, but he has been really good this season, and with Jordan Clarkson's efficiency taking kind of a nosedive after the All-Star break, I would not be surprised if they give it to Joe Ingles, maybe someone like a Thaddeus Young or like a Jalen Brunson, but I do think a game like tonight is probably going to move it towards Jordan Clarkson, and typically the 6th Man of the Year award is just like the bench scorer award. Whoever like scores the most points off the bench or one of the high scores off the bench typically wins it. Whether or not that's a good way to use the award, I'm not sure. You can debate that in the comment section below. But I think Jordan Clarkson is going to end up winning that award. And the Warriors winning this game, Steph Curry, 36, 4, and 6. He's going to be the NBA scoring leader. And this game solidified the Warriors' spot in the play-in tournament. After all of the ups and downs of the season, a lot of injuries. Kelly Oubre missing some time, James Wiseman missing a lot of time. This Warriors team has really fought hard, and Curry, Draymond Green especially as well, Andrew Wiggins, all deserve a lot of credit for the way that this team has kind of picked themselves up and continue to fight. Draymond Green in particular, like I said, really making a case for himself as an all defensive level player. I think he's got to be on at least all defensive second team, if not all defensive first team. He's been really good on that end, and I feel like his decline on defense has really been exaggerated. 12 points tonight, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. He just does everything right. And when him and Curry are playing that two-man game, they're very, very difficult to stop. They have great chemistry there, the way that Draymond has these kind of shut-off screens that give Steph just enough airspace to toss up a three from like 30 feet out. That goes in pretty much every time. They've got a lot of great chemistry, and these two are a dangerous duo. I would not want to face them if I'm any team in the playoffs or in the play-in, just because Steph Curry has the potential to go off for 50 any night and make a series way more difficult for me than it has to be. As for the Jazz missing Conley and Donovan Mitchell, this was a good fight for them, and I do think if these two teams faced off in the playoffs, the Jazz do win this series pretty handily, maybe like 5 or 6 games, but I think the Warriors do have the potential to make a series between them and the Jazz kind of interesting just because of their experience and because they have Steph Curry. So that's all the games from tonight. Let me know what you think about Russell Westbrook's achievement. Let me know what you thought about all the games. Let me know what you think about the play-in tournament coming up and the current playoff scenarios. Who are you hoping win in these play-in tournament scenarios? Is your favorite team still in the playoff hunt? And if not, how sad are you that your season is ending as a Thunder fan? I'm not used to missing the playoffs, so it's very weird to not be gearing up for a playoff run. Without all that being said, I will see you guys later. Real one, say it back.